You guys, hey,
Oh, your mic's off.
Can't hear the music.
What happened? Wait.
We can kind of hear it.
A little bit.
It's very subtle.
I love the movies. One love.
Hey, I like the movies with the boobies.
So stupid.
Makes the kids laugh every time.
welcome,
don't know why.
welcome to another episode of Movies That Molded Me. It's been a while, hasn't it, Chris?
It's it's season 3 now. You know, we took a little bit of break between season 2 and season 3.
Oh, it was on purpose. Okay, we needed to have a good, solid break, and we're starting out season 3 in a good old family fashion. Brought all 4 of the Williams kids are on just the beginning of this episode. You'll hear them in a second. One of my lists, we're doing sci-fi movies today with Kieth Giles and
Giles.
Giles. I knew I was going to get it wrong.
We have to have him
before
on
I said
again just to get his name right.
It's going to have to be somebody else introducing him if they're going to get it right. I'm horrible. I freeze at the last second, and I'm like, which one is it? And I take the wrong turn each time. So, Kieth Giles.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. Who is a podcaster as well as an author and a movie enthusiast. So we're happy to have him on this episode. Talking
Prolific author
talking sci-fi movies. So, and by the way, I know Kieth, you picked this topic, so I'm not going to give you too much shit, but all this shit is directed directly towards Chris. What a horrible topic. It's so broad. Only because it's so broad. There's so many great sci-fi movies to choose from. Like, I mean, my list that I had to narrow down from was about 20 to 30 movies that I would love to talk about. Could end up on any list if we narrowed it down to a certain type of sci-fi movie. But so it'll be fun. I chose, like I always do. I expect to win, but I'm sticking true to ones that have actually molded me. So I have one recent one, and the others are a little older. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Kieth, welcome to the podcast, man. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself? What are some of your accomplishments as a theologian and podcaster and author?
Yeah, thanks so much. My accomplishments, I don't know. Well, so I co-host a podcast called the Heretic Happy Hour podcast with Matthew DiStefano, Derek Day, and Katie Valentine, and it's a blast. And we just have a lot of fun on that show. We have coming up on our 100th episode in a couple of, I guess, next month.
That's huge.
Yeah. I'm also an author. I blog on Pathos. I'm an author. I've written my 6th book in the Jesus series of books, comes out this month. It's called Jesus Unforsaken, Substituting Divine Wrath with Unrelenting Love. And if you couldn't guess, it's a critique of penal substitutionary atonement theory, and it's looking at the cross and answering the question, why did Jesus have to die? And spoiler alert, it wasn't because God was the angry volcano God and his son jumped in the way and took the beating so that we could be loved and forgiven. Anyway, yeah, Bruxy Cavey did the forward. I'm like super, super excited about that coming out March 23rd. And what else? I guess that's it. I don't know. I don't think I have many other accomplishments to speak of.
I would completely disagree. I mean, being on CNN and getting to talk to Anderson Cooper is huge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, me and Anderson Cooper.
Go way back.
I forgot about that. That's right. Yes. That was insane.
That's huge for Chris, apparently.
That was insane, actually. I tell you what, man. That day I just sent a tweet responding to a tweet actually the president had done right about my friend Martin Gugino. And within an hour, CNN was calling me, asking me if I could be on the show that night because the tweet, I think it ended up at like 40 million or something.
Good grief.
It was insane, dude. I was like, it was the most surreal moment. And I'm not kidding. I really thought I was going to pass out. I was sitting kind of like this. They use a similar program like you guys used to record this. And I'm sitting there, getting ready to go live with Anderson Cooper. And I thought, I could just pass out right now. I hope I don't. Please, just was my goal was just don't pass out. So
Was it so surreal that
All right,
it was
Chris,
like
we
in
are
a
not
sci-fi
on
movie?
We've already done this.
news for noobs here. Come on, we're talking about movies that molded me. Was
That's
it
true.
like was it like you were in a sci-fi movie? Was that what
Yes,
it was like?
it was
That's what Chris was
like-
gonna ask you.
it was like being in a science fiction film. Yes.
There you go. There you go. So we are talking sci-fi movies today, and I'm also, just like Omar said earlier, I'm pretty excited about it. Had to narrow it down, and I kept thinking to myself, I can't go back and choose another movie that we've done before, because we've done little subgenres of sci-fi. Like we did space movies. We also did time travel. Even like post-apocalyptic movies that we've done before is, semi sci-fi, or at least can be. So there are a lot of movies that are really high up there for me that I was like, I'm not going to choose one of those same movies that I've already chosen. So everything that I'm putting on movies that molded me today is completely fresh out of my mouth anyway. So we'll see how it goes. But as always, we like to let our guest go first. And so, Keith, that's going to bring us to your third favorite sci-fi movie of all time.
This is so hard. Just like Omar was saying, it's like, especially science fiction, because I love film so much, and especially science fiction. Like if I had to pick, that's my favorite genre of film is science fiction. And
That's
so,
why you write religion, right?
yeah, there is a connection, but we should talk about that later. There is a connection, because I think it has a lot to do. The kind of sci-fi I like is stuff that sort of questions like what is real, what is reality, identity and reality. Like are the two big questions that philosophically I think are interesting, and I love science fiction films that typically explore that. But anyway, this number 3 choice, I actually had traded it out. And I guess we'll cover some of the honorable mentions later. But my number 3 is a film called, I've got the box right here, Children of Men. This is a film by Alfonso Cuarón. It's actually based on a book by P.D. James. Stars Clive Owen, Michael Caine,
Julianne Moore,
and the guy, I hate trying to pronounce his name. I know I'm going to butcher it. Chiwetel
Ejiofor.
That guy too. He's in it too. And anyway, so this film, here's the thing about Children of Men for me. Every time I watch it, I love it more.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think I saw it a few months ago. I watched it for maybe the 4th time, and I was in tears. I mean, at the end of that film, I was like, damn, this is a good movie.
Yeah.
And even the very first time I watched it, the thing that just floored me was that film. It felt like this film was set like 6 hours into the future. I mean, it felt like we were that close to being in that world, living in that world. And actually now, a few years later, I guess close to 10 years later, watching it again, we are in that world. I mean, in that film, it deals with immigration issues, people being, deported because, for all kinds of reasons. And it's really interesting. The high levels of poverty and the divide between the rich and the poor, and even just kind of the environmental situation that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love the film, and I think it's also, I'm in awe of the film every time I watch it. So I don't know what else to say about it. I love that film.
It's a great choice. It's a very good movie.
It is a very good choice. And, we have this grayscale where you're going to give the movie a score of 0 to 5. So 5 being the best, of course. And what would you give Children of Men?
Are appreciated.
Sorry?
Decibels are appreciated. Like, if it's like a 4
Decimals.
Decimals, Giles, potato.
Well, oh my gosh. Well, so this is tough because I'm switching now, I'm looking at your rubric here.
Yeah.
So if I say, okay, how impactful was it to me in my life?
Yeah.
Psychologically, my outlook, I'd have to give it a point for that. How believable and engaging is the acting? I'd have to give it a point for that. How well is the story told? I think it's phenomenal. Cinematography, audio, visual choices. Damn, this film has a scene in it that will forever be etched on my brain forever, and it just brings me to tears every time I watch it. I got to say, I'd have to. I know I'm starting off with the number 3, but I'd have to give it a a 5, if not maybe a 4.5.
Well, you give it whatever you want.
Give it what you want. Come on.
I mean, it's a
I'm gonna
top
give it-
3 movie.
I got to give it a 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah, give it a 5. Omar, what do you think about Children of Men?
Children of Men, good movie. I didn't think to put it on there. Clive Owen is a great actor. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it's kind of a dark movie, but
I was going to say it's not a lot of fun.
I mean, it has the suspenseful elements. It keeps going. There's not a lot of slow pace to it. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean,
his ADD can handle it.
Yes, exactly. So I give it a 4.
Okay. All right. Elizabeth, what do you think about Children of Men?
I've not seen it.
I didn't think so.
Sorry, Keith.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, my
That's
kids are
not
going to
Ellie
laugh at
laughing
me.
at you.
You
Yeah,
need to
I
fix
hear
that. You need to fix that right away, Lizzie.
Okay.
You have to watch this film, and I'm going to promise you, if you watch this movie, it will change your life. It will stun you. It will inspire you. You will be going, damn, how did I miss this film? It's so good.
All right, I will look it up.
Good.
It is incredible. And, I think maybe the scene that you're talking about is the one that's almost like it's one shot where they follow Clive Owen through the, building as they're being bombed and shot at and whatnot. Incredible cinematography. Alfonso Cuarón is a great director. Michael Caine, who plays a hippie in that movie, is just deadpan funny. And it's just masterclass in filmmaking. I actually played this movie on our Apocalypse movies as one of my favorites. And so, obviously it's going to get a 5 from me. Beautiful pick. And that means that Children of Men is going to get 14 out of 20 points on the grayscale. Starting out pretty strong there, Keith.
Yeah,
okay.
Great job, Keith. Way to start out with the children.
All right.
It's very smart of you. I mean, I think we all think alike, actually, because perfect segue in movies, because children of this man and woman are here to help me bring
You needed me for that one.
my pick number 3 for movies that molded me all-time sci-fi movies, which they don't know yet which movie I've chosen. They can probably maybe guess as I start talking about it. But this I'm actually curious what your guess is. What is your guess?
Marvel.
All right, what Marvel?
Probably Marvel Age of Ultron.
Close. So anyway, yeah, very close. So it is a Marvel movie, filmed in 2019. The Marvel movies to end all Marvel movies. Quite literally, we're choosing Endgame. So, and this movie. So this is a newer movie. If you guys follow movies that molded me at all, guys, hold on just 1 second. You all get a chance to talk individually once at a time for about a few seconds to tell what your favorite thing is about that movie, and then move on. Just one thing,
Just
and then
think
move on.
for a second.
So,
Let Daddy talk.
I chose this movie. Obviously, you can see that it impacted my children quite a bit. It's been a fun thing to do with them. I made them watch all of the other Marvel movies leading up to Endgame before they were ever allowed to watch Endgame. There's a few reasons why I chose this movie. It is a very good movie as far as tying up loose ends. I mean, my favorite character is Smart Hulk. For some reason, nobody told me Smart Hulk was in this movie until I started watching it. I'm like, holy shit! This is so awesome. Funny story. I actually spoiled this movie for a group that I was in called Bad Christian. The day that it opened up, there was a meme that was posted in another group that I was in, or a GIF, and I picked that GIF and went ahead and shared it. And by doing so, pissed off a lot of people, more so than I thought that I would, because this group is pretty much, I mean,
It's a bunch of trolls.
It was supposed to be talk about anything's open, but it's like, don't mess with our entertainment. This is sacred to me. And but out of that, we got a friend of
Jeffrey,
this podcast, and the podcast that I'm also involved with, Fade to Gray, named Jeffrey Fleming, and he's also been on this show I think a couple times.
Yep.
So it was all worth it, even though it's a newer movie. And I'm gonna let my kids tell me, start from eldest to youngest, of their favorite part of Endgame. This is Carmen.
The whole movie's just so good. I can't choose a favorite part.
All right, thank you. Next.
My favorite scene is when Anne came to practically save Tony when she's like, "Mommy told me to come save you."
And Tony said,
thank you. I am saved.
Nice.
My favorite scene is when Spider-Man came out of the portal.
I screamed. I was so happy.
The volume
That was
level
a-
in this
that was
house.
pretty. Like,
I bet.
My favorite scene is when Anne came down the stairs when I was.
It's okay. It actually translates pretty
She's
well.
so
across this.
excited.
She is. It's okay, kids.
the
Go ahead.
favorite scene is when
Anne came down the stairs and she says what Tony said.
and she said what Tony said.
She said-
Awesome.
Shit. Tony said shit, and then Anne copied him, and Tony was like, "Shh, don't tell mommy."
And that was my 5-year-old's favorite part of the movie, and you can tell that we are awesome parents. So
Yes.
thank you very much for playing the game, kids. Go enjoy your evening.
Bye,
Love you.
kids.
Appreciate it. Thanks for your patience too. It's awesome. And thank
Aw.
you listeners for your patience as well. And so that is Endgame. It has definitely influenced my family, which influences myself as well. So 5 on the Grease scale.
All right. Let's see here. Keith, what do you think about Avengers Endgame?
I am the biggest Marvel nerd. Man, I love Marvel comics. I read them as a kid growing up. For me, for what Marvel did, over 10 years, starting with Iron Man, connecting all these films together, leading one story that's told across all these different stories, culminating in that final film is like, no one will ever touch that. That is just, it's unbelievable. And they did it seamlessly, flawlessly, perfectly. And as a crazy, Marvel geek fanboy, for me, that scene where Captain America uses Thor's hammer and kicks the crap out of Thanos, dude, I was wetting my pants. I was so happy. I was like, I can't believe I'm getting to see this. This is the best time to be a geek ever. I'm so happy I get to live at this time in history. Thank you, God. So yes, I love all the Marvel films, but especially Endgame. You couldn't have asked for anything better. So you can tell, I'm gonna have to probably give that one a 5 also.
Wow. Okay. Keith Giles gives it a 5.
I mean, honestly, though, I can't think of any movie that ties things together so well. The way they were jumping back through other movies, and I'm like, holy shit, my mind is blown. And this is a freaking superhero movie. You know what I mean? And I knew because I had quote unquote spoiled the movie, how it ended, but the movie was so much more than that ending. And I knew the whole time. And I think I'm going to spoil it again. Spoiler alert. Tony dies.
What?
Which, I mean, and was one of my favorite characters ever. I mean, like just the cockiness of like, I am Iron Man. It was the first superhero to actually say, yeah, that's me. I fucking did it.
And the beautiful thing of how they connected it, like the bookends of how Iron Man ends with the big shocking, he's supposed to do the press conference and make up a story. It's like, fuck it, I'm Iron Man. And then it's like, and then to end it with, he dies with, I am Iron Man. Boom. Oh, geez. Just so good. Oh.
All right. Elizabeth, what do you think about Endgame?
Yeah. I think I'd be kicked out of my family if I gave it any less than a 5.
Okay.
I will say
you're your own person, babe. So.
I was okay. You're gonna hate me, but when they were watching it the one time, I was in my room reading a book, enjoying some private time. But it got so loud when the Avengers started reappearing, the ones that had disappeared. Like the first few started, and I heard my oldest daughter freaking out, and then everybody starts coming after. I mean, it was so loud. I had to go see why. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, unfortunately, I have not seen Avengers
Are you
Endgame.
serious?
I saw Deadpool.
Keith's done.
He's done.
Right, Keith's done.
He's like, you can say whatever you want to about my last name. You can butcher my name however you want, but you invite me on a sci-fi movie genre, and you can't even talk about Endgame. You had days to prepare for this.
I'm sorry. I have not seen. I don't really care for that kind of stuff.
And we're done. Turn it off. Let's go. Save the day.
Really, the only superhero I ever really connected with was Batman, and I can't get into
Oh
Marvel.
my
and
god,
stuff. I don't know why.
DC is not even good unless you're a villain. They can only the only thing they can make good in DC is villains. So Batman's not even a good. So he has no super fucking powers.
He's rich.
He's a spoiled rich little brat who thinks he's a vigilante and encourages other vigilantes' stupidness too.
And then gets mad when other people are vigilantes.
Yes.
Well, I kind of agree with Lena here that Endgame shouldn't even count as sci-fi, but
How?
It is what it is.
How?
No, I get it. No, look, there's a reason why there's no Marvel. As much as I'm a crazy Marvel fan, there's no Marvel films on my sci-fi list because I would segregate superhero films as a separate genre, and the same way I would also separate like anime as a separate one because like there's a lot of anime that I think is great sci-fi, Paprika, and a lot of great films like that are great sci-fi, but I keep them in their separate genres. But that's just me.
Yeah, I'm sure it's great. My wife actually just recently watched all of these because we had a trial to Disney Plus, and so she binged all of the Avengers stuff and is telling me, hey, they're pretty good. And she's even like, hey, you have to watch WandaVision before we lose our Disney Plus stuff.
Oh, damn. Yes. Hurry up.
You do.
Yeah.
WandaVision is awesome.
Chris,
I binge watched WandaVision over the weekend. You need to do it.
You really have no excuse for any of this. I mean, they're great movies. They're great
Fantastic,
movies.
yes.
I'm sure they're great. I'm sure they are. And one day I will get around to watching them. I've seen a few Marvel movies, but I have not seen any of the Avengers. So I'm sorry, Omar, but that does mean that Endgame is only going to get 15 points on the grayscale, and I'm sure it deserves more.
Jeffrey, you need to write a song about Chris and how he hasn't.
I apologize to all of the listeners. We have just lost the listener.
Our listener is gone.
I apologize for Chris.
Our listener.
Yeah, there's only one.
Well, all right, Elizabeth. If Endgame is so great, what is your third favorite sci-fi movie of all time?
Okay, well, first of all, I really want Yogi Teas to sponsor us. So, Yogi, this is me drinking Yogi Tea.
Oh my God, shut up! What was your number 3 all-time favorite sci-fi?
All right, so I'm with Keith on this one, and that there were and Chris as well. It's such a huge genre, and you can split it so many different ways. And we've talked about various types of sci-fi shows, so I picked some that I'm hoping I didn't mention before, because Star Wars would be on my list otherwise. Okay, but number 3 is 2008's City of Ember. And I really like that one. And I know, okay, this is a 2008, and I definitely have been live much longer than that. But I really liked it because I love the storyline. I like that age range that it was geared for. What's it like? Young adult, juvenile fiction, whatever. I'm talking books, but the storyline is this whole group of people. The Earth was being wiped out, so a group of people went underground and lived there to try and repopulate the Earth at some point. But they're all living underground, and the underground city is starting to disintegrate. Well, a girl and her friends start finding clues that originally the people who originally went down underground had designed it for those people underground to eventually move back on the Earth. But the powers that be, Billy Crystal,
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray. Sorry.
Wrong Bill.
Sorry.
Not even close.
Bill Murray is much better. He basically wanted to keep everybody under control underground. I really liked that movie a lot because to me it really resonated with how the church is. Like, we're supposed to go out and get bigger, but no, we're like, the church is like, no, we have to stay in our underground little hole. So it really resonated with me for that reason. I liked the punk rock, or what was it called? Oh shit, what's it called? Steampunk. Thank you. I love the steampunk style.
You're so hip, babe.
I'm so not. And I like that style of imagery that they put throughout the whole film with the costumes and the decor, the props and backdrops and all that stuff. So
what would you give City of Ember?
Okay, well, it wasn't as good as Endgame, so it's getting a 4.
Okay, all right. Elizabeth gives City of Ember a 4. Keith, have you seen City of Ember?
I have. Yeah, that's how I remembered it was Bill Murray. I do remember watching that. I saw it at like $1 movie night with my kids when they were younger. Sadly, though, I did not like the film as much as you did, Elizabeth. I
That's
honestly,
fine.
and I'm sorry to say this, I'd have to give it like a 1.
Hey,
All
you're giving it a
right.
point. That's okay.
I'll give it a point.
There you go.
And here's why. I give it a point for the design. Because like you said, the way the city was designed, underground city was designed, I thought was really cool. So some of those elements were cool. And, that whole idea of like, there's been a lot of films about that sort of dystopian underground, like Logan's Run is like that. THX 1138 is like that. Lots of films like that. I just like those films better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So Keith gives City of Ember a 1. Omar, what do you think?
I can do better than that. I mean, I can do better than a 1 just because Bill Murray's in it. I mean, I'm gonna call my good friend William in a second and tell him, Keith is, giving one of his movies a 1. No.
Next, you and Bill are so tight.
Yeah, so tight,
Yeah.
we go way back. I roll off his joints. So anyway, I would have to give this movie. So conceptually, like the idea of this movie is great. Casting, I think it's great. I think I'm lost in the steampunkiness of it more than anything else. Like I guess I get it. It's faux future with retro, feel. I don't know. I'll give it a 4. I'll give you a 4, babe.
Wow.
All right.
That's actually
Wow,
way
that's
higher than
pretty
I
damn good.
expected.
It's because
Yeah.
it's my birthday week.
Ah,
With me.
you can't have padding in your score just because it's your birthday week. Oh my God.
Padding.
Well,
Badass.
that brings it to me. I've never heard of this movie. So City of Ember gets a 0 from me.
Chris,
I'm sorry.
You're sucking
Chris.
at this game, Chris.
You're
by the
telling
way.
me that I'm the one that doesn't watch movies?
I think
Oh,
a new
come
rule is if you're coming to a genre and there's 3 movies on a list that people are bringing that you don't know, you've never seen, then you should get deducted points yourself.
There's only been 2 so far.
I know so far.
I can guarantee you the next Elizabeth one is going to get around the same score here, people. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm sorry. I mean, I wish I had seen it because I love Bill Murray and it sounds interesting. Steampunk. I've never, whatever. But you describing that kind of makes me think.
Whatever.
He doesn't know what steampunk is.
I really don't. But you describing
Boomer.
that kind of makes me think of that one Michael Cera movie, The Ex-Girlfriends.
Oh,
What is it?
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim. That's right. Just
That
just by the
movie
way that
kicks
you
ass.
describe it.
I
It's
love
not.
Yeah, that's a good
It's
movie.
nothing like
It's
that movie.
nothing at all. Not even close.
Well, all right.
How would you connect Scott Pilgrim to that?
Scott Pilgrim was never underground.
Never
There was
underground.
there was nothing.
Bill Murray.
There's no
There's no Bill Murray.
steampunkiness to
No
it
Bill Murray,
at
no
all.
steampunk.
It's all like comic book type
Yeah.
feel to it, or video game, I guess.
Well,
Video
there you
game,
go.
yeah.
I guess maybe Elizabeth should have described it better. So
Chris, you just weren't listening because a woman was talking. That's
I think
why. Moving
I think
on.
we
Yeah.
all the rest of us heard it just fine. Yes.
oh goodness. All right. Well,
Wa-
City of
wa-
Ember.
Watch some good movies, Chris.
Oh, I do.
Like
In fact,
Soul.
I've got my movie is about to kick your ass. In fact, you're going to love it. But City of Ember is going to get a 9 on the grayscale. All right. So that's going to bring us to my third favorite. And so, like I said, there are so many movies that I could play on this list that I've already played on like subgenres of sci-fi. But because
So-
I
so
want
say
to
it
keep
again.
it fresh. What's
It's
that?
it's so fresh because you say it again, so it's fresh for us one more time.
So anyhow, I have never played this game on Movies That Molded Me, but it's totally deserving of a top 3 spot. And I'm talking about a 2001 Richard Kelly written and directed Donnie Darko. Of course, it stars.
You've never played this one, huh?
I've never played this one.
Are you
You
sure?
played it on Halloween, I think.
Now
for
now's
those
a
scary
good time
ones.
to play
Oh,
it. Then, yeah.
Omar did.
Yeah. It's a great movie. Essentially, there's this teenager who has some mental health issues, certainly a chemical imbalance, and you don't really know exactly what's happening until the movie kind of unfolds. But essentially, he's being visited by this giant bunny rabbit, who's making him do crazy things like burst the pipes at his school or set a pedophile's house on fire. He does all these things, and at the end, there's an element of time travel in it. But it's an extremely thought-provoking and beautiful film. Even though I talk about something as ridiculous as Frank the Giant Bunny Rabbit, you could watch this movie and be brought to tears just by how beautiful it is. I think that this movie, I tend to think of it as like a Halloween type movie just because it is set around Halloween. It's something I watch every year and look forward to every year. Omar brought this up on our Scary Movies Halloween edition last year. And I was glad that he played it because it's so deserving to be talked about more than once on our podcast.
But Chris, I've had some time to rethink my score, so I'm glad you brought this back up.
You better not. I could talk for hours about Donnie Darko and just like the mystery in it. And Richard Kelly, who wrote and directed it, he's gone on to do other movies that to me were not anywhere near as beautiful or as thought provoking. But this one is an absolute winner. And I give Donnie Darko a 5 on the grayscale. That brings us to Keith. What do you think about Donnie Darko?
Love that movie. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Great film. And kind of a sad thing too. Like you said, the director kind of pulled an M. Night Shyamalan where like out of the gate, first movie was amazing and nothing. It was like start off at the top and everything after that went downhill. Yeah. Never ever equaled that. But man, that movie is good. I also love what I loved about the film is that the first time you watch it, it's completely misdirecting you. You totally think it's going to be like you're expecting one thing, right? Like Donnie Darko is going to turn into some kind of serial killer because this demonic bunny rabbit is running around with a knife and trying to get him to kill people and stuff. But then you realize, that's not it at all. And it actually is this really surreal sort of multiple reality time travel thing. And man, it is good. It's very good. Deep, great acting, incredible cast. Drew Barrymore's in it. I can't remember all the people that are in it. It's tons of people are in it. I really do love that film.
Patrick Swayze is, in my opinion, his best film.
Yeah. Okay, I forgot. Yeah, he's one of the teachers. One of the teachers, right?
Well, no, he's the one. He's the pedophile.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And he goes into the house. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much away, but I love that film. And it's one of those films too, where I like part of the reason why I think I love it so much is it's one of those films where like, especially when it first came out, it's kind of like when you have your favorite indie band, right? You love this band before anyone knew it was popular. Right. And then all of a sudden they have a big hit on the radio and then everyone listens to them and you're like, oh, I listened to them long before you knew who they were. But once everybody knows it, it's not cool anymore because now everybody knows it. Yeah. So to me, Donnie Darko was like that because when they first discovered it, it was like this little indie film and no one ever heard of it. And it was so deep and so mind blowing. And then it just kind of exploded. And now everybody's, Donnie Darko. Anyway, long way around the mountain there. I love that film, but I would probably give it a 4.5 just because, it's not, I don't know. It's hard to say what the flaws are, but it's not perfect. And in a way that's okay. I don't need films to answer all the questions, like it annoys me when, stuff. I don't, I like ambiguity in films. So it's not that. But I don't know. But whatever. I give it a 4.5.
Yeah, I think that's a good score. Omar? No, excuse me, Elizabeth.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh my God. All right, Omar.
Payback's a bitch. I don't remember what I gave it last time.
You gave it a 5.
Maggie and Jake. I mean, is that why you chose this? You're like, went back. He's like, I gotta win. He's gonna have to.
No.
Choose.
He's got to give it a 5.
I could have chosen some other ones.
Well, here's the thing. So Maggie and Jake are both beautiful people. Probably wouldn't kick either one of them out of the bed. So, and it was one of those movies. When I saw it, for the time I saw it, for movies that molded me. I think the genre that we were in is something scary or horror. What genre were we in for or time travel?
Scary movie.
Or time travel. So I mean, it would definitely score high in my scary movies because I don't watch a lot of scary movies. But just sci-fi in general. I mean,
You are kidding me right now.
I mean, I like the movie. I'm not shitting on it, but I agree with Keith, there's something about it. It almost has a I'm so cool because I like Donnie Darko feel to it.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Back when I liked it, it was like, oh, this is really cool. This movie no one really likes. And now it's just like, oh, like it has like an air of arrogance to it.
I think at one time it
not
did.
as good. I think now it does more than ever.
No way.
So I will give it a 3.5 on the grayscale.
You are
Whoa.
such a jerk. You gave City of Ember a 4. All right.
How does that compare?
That's a good point. That's a good point. I can give Donnie Darko a 4 as well.
There you go. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay,
solid point.
So Donnie Darko, then I don't know fucking how is going to get a 13.5 on the grayscale. What a weird life. Oh, that's going to bring us back around to Keith, your number 2 sci-fi movie of all time.
Okay, this one is tough. It may be one of the ones where it may be one of these ones where it crosses some genres a little bit, like we were saying, some films that are, is it sci-fi, is it this or that? But I maintain this is a science fiction film written by one of my all-time favorite screenwriters of all time, Charlie Kaufman. The film is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I gotta say, if I could give this movie a 6, I would give it a 6 because
Strong pick.
I saw this film in the theater. I was aware of Charlie Kaufman because he had done the screenplay for Being John Malkovich. I thought that was kind of interesting and a really kind of a creative film. But and I think he had done adaptation by then, which I still think is a genius screenplay. Anyway. But so I went to go see this film in the theater, and I was stunned. I mean, it's seriously that this movie impacted me, affected me, probably almost like no other film. For days afterwards, I was like stunned. And it caused me to literally take stock of the people in my life that mean something to me. And I thought about I feel like I'm going to cry. I thought about my wife. I thought about my best friend, the people in my life who are there for me and love me, no matter what I do, no matter who I am. It was profound. If I could say a movie is profound, Eternal Sunshine is a profound film, and I've seen it multiple times. Again, every time I see it, it gets me. That ending gets me every time. Charlie Kaufman is a flat-out genius. I really love him, and I think I would go as far as to say he is the best screenwriter working in Hollywood today.
All right,
wow.
but Keith, you have to now defend how this is a sci-fi movie.
Oh, that's easy. Look, the whole thing hinges on the fact that there's a doctor who's invented a machine that erases your memory. Specific memories, not just, he's not going to erase your memory by just, giving you a lobotomy, but he can erase a specific person, all your memories of a specific person using this machine. And of course, the story is that, when you have a breakup, in other words, you're so impacted by grief, someone has died or broken up with you, or some people in the film, like their pet has died or something. And so you go in with all the things that remind you of that person. And you go in and you touch each one and you're asked to remember something about that person. They map your brain. And then that night they go in with this machine and they target those memories and one by one zap them and erase them. And in the morning you wake up and you remember nothing of this person or your connection to them or anything. And it's sort of a way of,
so it's kind of like Fireball.
Fireball. What is Fireball?
The alcohol.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Yes. I was going to say.
We have a revolt happening though with our listener right now.
Our listener
saying that it's not a sci-fi movie, but we'll give you the pass.
Look! How can it not?
I want you to look Daniel Burton right in the eye.
I am.
And tell him.
All right, Daniel. All right, Daniel. So, Daniel, here's the thing about science fiction. Science fiction is anything, first of all, in a most simple level, it's not a film about something that could happen other than there being some massive technology breakthrough, right? And so, can you go right now to a place and have your specific memories of a person erased? No, why not? Because that technology isn't invented yet.
It's the bar.
In this film doesn't work unless that technology exists. So in other words, the science fiction doesn't have to have aliens, and it doesn't have to be set in the future. It doesn't have to have time travel. Science fiction really is a way. This to me is what I love about science fiction. Science fiction is really any story that you can tell about a future, and it could be way in the future, it could be near in the future, that allows. What is this?
IMDb calls it sci-fi.
There you go. There you go. It's like, to me, great science fiction. It tells you a story about something in the future, but it's actually about today. It's actually about you and me right now. And if it's good science fiction, that's what it does. If it's just got ray guns and aliens and time travel and spaceships, it's bullshit. It doesn't, unless it has a story that actually hits you and me right now today, it's worthless. So to me, that's what I love about Eternal Sunshine, because it uses this little thing about what if you could do this, and then says something about us as human beings right now. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Nick at what he just said in the I'm not laughing at you, which he says, is the FTG podcast a sci-fi fantasy podcast since Christopher Cody is basically a hobbit?
That would be a fantasy, not a science fiction.
Exactly.
Big difference.
Exactly.
Big difference.
So Keith, yeah, absolutely. This is a sci-fi film. And so you're going to give it a 5, I imagine.
5.5.
Whoa.
All right. So Keith gives Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind 5 on the grayscale. Omar, what do you think about Eternal Sunshine?
Love me some Jim Carrey. And this is one of his better movies, in my opinion, as well. So I didn't impact me quite the same way it did Keith, which, I mean, that was a beautiful, elegantly put. It may have swayed my voting a little bit. I'll give it a 4, man.
All right. Elizabeth, have you seen Eternal Sunshine?
I have. I saw it soon after it came out on DVD with my friend Danette. Whoop, whoop, Danette, if you're watching. Not that she is, because she doesn't know who I am anymore. It doesn't matter. Anyway. But she had me watch it with her. And I tell you, like, it did the same for me, Keith. I'm going to give it a 4 only because there are other movies that have impacted me more. But that one definitely stuck with me for days. Days. Like, I had to rewatch it just to make sure I understood everything I watched.
Right.
Did that really happen?
So Elizabeth is going to give it a 4 as well. I have seen this movie, and Jim Carrey was absolutely fantastic. And it was like one of those early movies where he's starting to take serious roles, and people are starting to see that he actually has range as an actor. And Kate Winslet's great. I did like this movie quite a bit. It didn't touch me as much as it did you, Keith, but I love it. I will also give it a 4. This is going to be our highest rated movie so far on this list at 17 out of 20 on the grayscale, which is going to bring us back to Omar for your second favorite sci-fi movie.
And our listener is rabid right now. Rabid. They're saying so, like one comment here, and I'm going to defend you here, Keith. So The Notebook is not sci-fi because the Alzheimer's patient loses his memory was not because of a machine that was doing that.
No.
Have you not seen this movie, Daniel? Yeah.
No, losing your memory is not science fiction. You can lose your memory any way possible. I'm saying there is a machine that will target specific memories of specific people. That makes it science fiction.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's sci-fi.
Don't set Keith off. Yeah. And IMDb is gone as far as making that decision. And so my
we did
number
decide
2,
before the podcast. We did decide to go ahead and look at IMDb if we were, debating on whether or not it was sci-fi.
All right.
So my number 2 of all time, I am not playing by the same rules Chris and Elizabeth are as far as not picking movies that I've chose before. Although apparently Chris feels like I'm just gonna pick ones that Omar's chosen 5 before and re-choose them here, so make sure that I pad my score. But so my number 2 of all time, I believe, was 1987. Yes, directed by Mel Brooks. Yes, written by Mel Brooks. Yes, stars Mel Brooks. Yes, and John Candy, Rick Moranis, was almost in another sci-fi movie I was going to choose, which is not Shrinking of the Kids, but this was all about them big juicy Spaceballs.
Wah, wah.
I love me some Spaceballs. This again is a movie like I'm looking at the list of like there's really good movies on the list I could have chosen from if I'm trying to like impress like my like cinephobes out there with the movies I'd like to watch. If I could pick Eternal Spotless Mind or Inception or some
I
other.
think you are
some other
impressing
shit.
cinephobes by choosing Spaceballs. By the way.
Cinephobes. Yes. Cinephobes.
No,
People who are afraid of film. You're cinephobic.
no, setophobic. That's a different thing. Anyway, moving on. I chose this movie. That's Omarisms, man. I gotta roll with it, Mr. Giles.
Giles.
So cinephiles, is that kind of like pedophiles, but like movies instead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
So cinephiles. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody. But
we don't mean to offend pedophiles.
I didn't mean to offend the cinephobes out there.
Sorry, pedophiles.
But I chose this. Sorry, Joe Biden. I chose this movie
Jeez.
basically
You're gonna get
because
blocked now.
I sorry, Mark Zerg.
So much for my.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
so much for being
I
sponsored by
give this
Yogi.
movie a 5. And I'm gonna move right along. Moving along. I'm done talking about it. Pizza Man eats himself. The Swartz bigger than mine. Combing the desert with a afro pick. All this stuff. Hilarious. It's putting a big middle finger to space or all the Star Wars people out there. So getting a 5.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Omar gives Spaceballs a 5. Keith, what do you think about Spaceballs?
Oh, well, I know this is a huge fan favorites people love. I don't know, man. I'm not a big Mel Brooks fan, to be honest. I used to love when I was younger, I loved Young Frankenstein, and then I tried to show it to my kids when they were teenagers, and it was like dead silence. We watched it, and I actually apologized. I was like, I'm sorry, because I remember this being funnier than it was. And I know this is Spaceballs, so I know it's different, but I don't know. It just didn't do it for me, man. I'm not a huge Spaceballs fan. Maybe I should rewatch it. I don't know, man.
You have something against balls, Keith?
I love balls. I love both of mine. I'm really fond of
Just not space ones, huh?
Is that because you're a big Star Wars fan?
No, I'm really not a huge Star Wars fan. I mean, the first, Star Wars Empire Jedi, the original ones.
Is it space then you have a problem with?
It's Mel Brooks, really. It's just I'm not a big
Yeah.
Mel Brooks fan. My favorite Mel Brooks film is actually Elephant Man. If you don't know, he produced that film.
I don't think I knew that actually.
Yes, and he kept his name off of it because he knew that if you saw Mel Brooks's name on a film called Elephant Man, you would think it was a comedy. Yes,
Yeah.
so he kept his name out of the limelight. But he produced the film, hired David Lynch, and great movie.
Wow.
Anyway, no, Spaceballs, I'm sorry. I'd say like 3.
That's pretty generous.
I'm being generous.
Yeah.
Honestly, I give it a 3, really, Omar, because you made me laugh so hard just now in the conversation about the film, not the film itself. I'm just going to give you the cinephobes thing.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
I like the fact that we
don't want
didn't
to
really
offend
talk about
any
it.
cinephobes at all.
Elizabeth, what do you think about Spaceballs?
Oh man, I love the movie. I do. I want to give it a 4 because I didn't watch it till I was older, and I'm kind of with Keith on this one. I didn't get it at first. It's one of those ones I had to watch several times, but it's all nostalgia now. So I'm going with the 4. Actually, I'm going to go with a 4.5.
Oh my
4.5.
god.
I had actually 3 Rick Moranis films on my list as I'm actually looking at this now. Honest to God.
Wait, hang on. What did Chris give it?
Yeah, I'm gonna give Spaceballs a 1.
Fuck you, Chris.
It's not great.
not
I would say Young Frankenstein is a million times better, by the way. And so, I don't know. Mel Brooks is okay. The Spaceballs was just, even as a kid, I didn't really like it. I just thought it was kind of boring. So I don't know. I don't really have much to say. There's no nostalgia there for me. There's nothing that really does anything for me. It looks the film. I know it's a comedy and it's not supposed to look good, but it looks like shit. It's just bad. It's just bad filmmaking. So I'm going to give it a 1. So Spaceballs gets 13.5 on the grayscale.
I can't wait to score your next movie, Chris. I can't wait.
No retaliation, Omar. I gave your other film a good score.
Not. Yeah. No retaliation whatsoever.
Or actually, no, I didn't because I didn't see it. All right. So Elizabeth, that's going to bring us to your second favorite sci-fi of all time.
Oh boy.
Which cartoon is it?
That's what I'm trying to decide.
One of our listeners already suggested Wall-E.
Yeah, I saw that. But Wall-E
Or our listener, I'm sorry. I keep
Your
trying to
listener?
make me think yeah.
Suggested Wall-E, and that was on my space list. But I have to make a decision. I have 4 right now.
I love you, Nick Moore, by the way.
Nick Moore, we love you. Okay, I'm gonna say Home, which I think was a Sony film actually, and it's about an alien invasion. And the way it's portrayed is from the aliens' point of view. So they're trying to find a new place to live because they're being chased by another alien group of people and a group of aliens. And they decided to settle on Earth. So they come and settle on Earth. Problem is, in order to do that, they take over and put all humanity in Australia. Anyway. In Australia. And there's only one girl who got away with it, and she didn't get taken, but she needs to find her mom. So she ends up teaming up with one of the aliens who gets kicked out of his group. All right, I'm gonna give it a 4. The end. Let me into the out now.
Okay, all right. You have to give me a little bit more information about this movie.
I've never seen this movie. I think you may have been the only person that's seen this movie by the looks of everyone's faces. So
what year did this movie come out?
Tell us a little bit more.
2015.
Okay. I'm looking it up on IMDb.
Who animated it?
I think it was Sony. I don't think it was DreamWorks, or it was not Disney. It was not Pixar. It was either DreamWorks or it was Sony.
It had Jim Parsons and Rihanna in it.
Is it
And
called
Steve
Home?
Martin.
Home?
It's called Home. And then there's a little purple alien. But yeah, Rihanna was the lead character. J-Lo was her mom. And
all-star cast.
Yeah, with decent cast.
DreamWorks.
Jennifer Lopez.
DreamWorks, but Jordan.
She was the
says
mother. DreamWorks. It was DreamWorks. All right, Jordan. Thank you. But yeah, I like the storyline. You're a troll. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. God damn, Nick. Okay. So you give it, I'm sorry, you give it a 4?
I'm giving it a 4. I liked it because it was a story of a girl.
Might as well give it a 5. Nobody else is gonna be able to say it.
You better give it as many points as you can, because I promise it's not going to get anything else.
That's fine. I'm giving it a 5.
Give it a
All
5.
right. Has anybody else seen this movie?
No.
No.
And
Does anybody else want to see this movie?
No, I don't want to see it. I've never. And one of my goals is to die, having never seen that film. I want to make sure I never see that movie.
I love it for the dialogue. The reason I love it is for how they write the aliens dialogue. It's hilarious.
It's too late, babe.
I know.
All right. So
brought to you by Truly's.
Oh my God. Okay, so Home is going to get 5 on the grayscale. Maybe it's good. I don't know. I'm not going to watch it.
No, watch Soul. If you're going to watch an animated movie, I suggest go watch Soul.
I plan on watching Soul because I found out. I found out the other day that Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor did the music for it.
And
so I've got to watch it.
Tell you,
it won a Golden
Globe.
Yeah,
I've got to watch it.
Yeah, it's great.
So yeah. All right. Well, that's going to bring to my second favorite. We recently started allowing TV shows on this podcast, and so I have chosen a TV show.
Alf.
Alf was so much fun when I was a kid, but no, not Alf.
Hated that show.
He ate cats. It was awesome.
Hated that show.
So of course, I'm going to go with one of my favorite shows of all time. It's not perfect, but it is.
The Office is not sci-fi.
No, it's not. I'm talking about, a little TV show that opened up in 2004 and ended in 2010, called Lost. And it was, pretty much the showrunners were Carlton, Hughes, and Damon Lindelof. Damon Lindelof, of course, has gone on to do amazing things. Damon Lindelof went on to do The Leftovers, which I was obsessed with. He also did the Watchmen series that just came out, which was really good. But this TV show is about a crew, not a crew, but a group of people that were all together on a flight that crash landed on an island. And mystery ensued, chaos ensued, ABC's executives got fired over it. It was an absolutely amazing show. And a lot of people, Jordan, you can go fuck yourself. A lot of people, of course, were obsessed with this show like I was. We used to have like these parties where we would, watch it on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night, depending upon what season it was. And then we would talk about the episode for an entire week. And we did this for years, postulating what's going to happen. What does this mean? Or,
It's that number sequence again.
Exactly. Right. So it's like all this mystery, with tons of sci-fi elements throughout, and just time travel. I mean, anything you could think of that's sci-fi related probably happened in this movie, with the exception of aliens, or I say this TV show. I can't recommend Lost enough. I love it. I know it's not perfect. There are things about it, like especially in hindsight, some of the characters don't really hold up. Jack is a total douchebag asshole in hindsight, but the acting is very solid. The writing was really, really solid. And I really think that Lost was the catalyst for many, many great TV shows after that. And yeah, Nick, those are the numbers. I would give Lost 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42. I give it a 5. I give it a 5 on the grayscale. Keith, what do you think about Lost?
Yeah, man, I am a huge Lost fan. Love that film. Love that show. I actually own the entire DVD set of the entire show, every season. I have seen it at least all the way through at least twice. I think just twice. But I would do it again. I really do like it. And you know what? I'm one of the people actually, again, I said earlier, I'm okay with ambiguity and I don't need everything wrapped up perfectly in a bow. And I think a lot of people are pissed off that the final episode didn't answer every damn question, like where's the polar bear? What about the,
right.
I don't need to know all of that. I think what the film, I keep saying film, what the series did well, it did extremely well. And, oh my gosh, I really do love that film. My biggest gripe about that series for me is that I loved all those characters, and Locke just got the raw end of the deal. He didn't get an ending or a character arc that was worthy of his character. I mean, gosh, what a great character!
Yeah,
and the way his wrapped up was just left a very bad taste in my mouth. So for that reason, I would give it a 4.
All right.
I really did love Lost.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's great. Omar, what do you think about Lost?
Good shit, man. And I'm glad that it made your list. I am, because I know that you really do love it. I've been to your house. I've seen your posters. I've had many conversations with you about Lost, so you know what I think about Lost. I think it's a great movie. I have qualms with the ending. But that also has to do with where I was at in my life, let's say even spiritually, when I watched it. Because when I was connecting with it throughout the series, there were some real spiritual parts where they were praying on the beach and different stuff. And so I was able to connect my faith to that. And so I was thinking, oh, this is kind of a Christian-based movie. You get to the very end of it, you find out it's completely universalism and everybody's okay and all this sort of stuff. And that's not where I was at in my belief system at that time. So I was actually offended in a way. It rubbed me the wrong way. I wasn't able
to go to hell.
or something. I wanted there to be some more absolute to it all. It just didn't tie it up enough for me at that point.
Only a Sith deals.
I think it's one. I think it's one of those shows.
He doesn't speak that language.
That I might be able to enjoy more now than I did the first time. When I don't rewatch stuff, so for me to even consider that, I'm like, have I forgotten enough about the movie or the show? Hey, I did it too. Hey, everybody, that I would, enjoy it second time around, and I think I might give it a shot. As far as score goes, 3.5.
Okay, 3.5. Elizabeth, have you seen Lost?
Yes, Chris, I have
Nice.
actually. Binge watched several seasons. I don't remember when I started watching it, but it was before the last season came out, and binge watched it with my then roommates. Shout out to Maggie and Laura if you're out there. We binge watched it. I did not like it. I did not like it. I think my problem was the elements of suspense. I just don't do well with suspense. I really don't.
Yeah.
And
Plus, it
because
wasn't animated.
Shut up.
Oh wait, we're voting for Chris. I want to give him a 1. I forgot that I was supposed to.
You've already voted.
All right, we got one more I can do.
And because it went over, the suspense went over a series for years. It gave me too much anxiety. I couldn't handle it. So, acting was great. Storyline, yeah, I get it, but couldn't handle it. I'm only giving it a 3.
Okay, that's not terrible. I'll take it. And I would also like to shout out my mom real quick. I saw her say Lost for the win. So thank you, Mom. I agree. Lost was awesome. My mom actually, it was really cool because she got caught up right before the end too. And we actually, I was going to school in Oklahoma at the time. So I would drive up there during the week and stay with her and watch Lost with her that last season. Anyway, that was really cool. So we got to watch that together. That was awesome.
That's cool.
So Lost is going to get a 15.5 on the grayscale. I feel pretty good about it.
I feel pretty good about our male listener hitting on me right now. Appreciate that. I see you there.
Aw, that's so nice.
Omar's getting some love. Let's see here. That's going to bring us to, first of all, let me kind of recap real quick. Right now, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is in the lead with 17 points on the grayscale, followed, I can't believe it, by Lost with 15.5 points on the grayscale, which, let's see, Children of Men. No.
Nope.
Avengers Endgame is right after that, followed by Children of Men, and then followed by Spaceballs, tied with Donnie Darko. So anyways, I'm looking forward to seeing where this ends up, but I don't know if anything's going to beat Eternal Sunshine. We'll see. That's going to bring us back to Keith's number 1 sci-fi movie of all time. What do you got?
Okay, well, if you know me at all, this will not be a shock to you. In fact, it would be shocking if I picked anything other than this.
Passion of the Christ?
No.
Tremors.
No. I am obsessed with this film. I literally am. In fact, I'm going to show you. I think I can turn my computer now and show you my office that I'm in here. And I want you to notice, see that poster there?
Yeah.
And then now if you see this bookshelf below me here.
Yeah.
Every single thing on that bookshelf is related to this film.
Wow.
I have an amazing collection.
Even the dildo?
Even that poster right there, that framed picture right there, that print is also from the film. This film, since I watched it on cable television back in, gosh, I guess it probably was late 80s, early 90s, maybe by the time. Yeah. Probably late 80s when I saw it on cable. The film is Blade Runner, and I'm obsessed with this film, and it's one of these things where I know objectively it's not the greatest film ever made. It doesn't, I've seen other films that, like I said, Eternal Sunshine moved me much more emotionally. I've seen other films that I think were more exciting or thrilling or had a story that just shocked me and surprised me. Wow, what a great twist or something in the film. But Blade Runner is not. It's not like that. So for me, what Blade Runner is, I think what I love the most about the film, to me, it's a work of art. And I know all film is art in some way, but honestly, to me, the sum total of the visuals, the audio, the soundtrack, Vangelis soundtrack, the dialogue, gosh, there are lines of dialogue that are poetry, literally poetry. If you just pulled them out and isolated them and just read them or played a clip of some lines of dialogue, it literally is, it's poetry. And all of this together, as well as what Ridley Scott did in this film, was to create a world. I mean, there's different versions of the film. The original version of the film had a voiceover soundtrack that Harrison Ford was forced to do. And actually he said in an interview afterwards, he did such a lousy job on the voiceover because he thought it was a dumb idea. And he said he honestly believed that if he did a crappy enough job, they would just not use it. But they used it. So that's why it sucks, because he on purpose was trying to make it sound bad. But so there's a director's cut that came out later that pulled that voiceover track out of the film. And that version of the film is really where now you can hear the street noises, you can hear people chattering and walking and cars going by. And you feel like you're in a city that really exists. You feel like you are pulled into a real world. And you get to live in it for 2.5 hours. And it's just such an amazing film to me. It hits every single one of those on the rubric for me. I don't know how many times I've seen it, too many times. I'll probably watch it at least twice more this year. I just love it. I can't explain it. The film got me. And I really am kind of obsessed with like watching it, talking about it. And I'll just say, by the way, too, this is also something I think is really kind of odd or sort of interesting. On my theological side of things, writing books and talking about theology and stuff, I found out Brad Jersak also is kind of crazy for this film too. So he and I have that in common. I was very excited to find out that he loved this film as much as I did. So Blade Runner, yeah, for me is kind of my all-time favorite science fiction film.
So it's got to be a 5, right?
6, but yes, 5. I can't go higher than 5.
Sorry.
I give it a 10.
Yeah.
It goes to 11. Yeah, I give it a 5.
Okay, so Kieth Giles is going to give Blade Runner a 5. Omar, what do you think about Blade Runner?
Do they redo this movie? Like
they didn't redo it.
No, there was a sequel. They made a sequel with Ryan Gosling, and Denis Villeneuve directed that.
Yes,
which was also a fantastic film. But
my favorite director right now, by the way.
Yeah, I love him. Yeah.
What year did the original come out?
82.
Yep. It's old.
I'm fairly positive I have not seen it.
Oh gosh!
Wow!
Oh, you're killing me, man.
I apologize.
Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer,
Sean Young.
I know everything about it, but the thing was, growing up, I was never into sci-fi type movies, like especially like space ones. That's why like closest thing you're gonna get to me is Spaceballs, because it's I saw the second one, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
but it's just too old looking, I think, for me to like want to sit through at this point.
You mean the original one?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, it is a little old. It's dated in the sense that right now it's set in the past, because it's set in November of 2019. So it's actually now in the past for us.
And I know I'm gonna get like hella shit for people, because I mean, and as far as the cinephobes go, they they're all very afraid of this one. No, I mean the cinephiles. I know this gets a lot of respect in the geekdom world and all that stuff too. So I apologize in advance. I suck, and you guys are gonna hate my number one. But yeah, I can't vote on it, so a 0.
Elizabeth, have you seen Blade Runner?
I have not.
Of course not.
They basically need to kick me off and get a new host over here.
How do you even have yourself a show about movies?
I don't know. I'm supposed to do the book one, because that's what I do all the time.
There you go.
Elizabeth, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I've obviously
got to lose.
I've obviously seen Blade Runner, and there's a couple of things that I have to say about this movie. I don't think it looks bad at all. For 1982, the visuals in this movie is incredible.
Yeah,
what they were capable of doing, even in 1982, it just blows my mind that they were even able to do that. And you know, the premise of the movie really is about it's almost about like modern day slavery, because you've got these robots who, you know, they're self-aware, and they're slaves, and like a good, you know, world, we outlaw it, but you know, whenever they revolt, we go and send a Blade Runner out to destroy them, which of course is, you know, a horrible thing. But there's no way that a wonderful movie like Ex Machina would ever be possible without Blade Runner.
Exactly.
This movie is so influential in so many ways. And it's not even a movie that like I get super excited about, but it's something I can say, man, I can see where all these movies that are coming out now have been influenced by this film. And so of course, I'm going to have to give it a good score. It's a beautiful movie. Sean Young, Omar, I know you'll know her from you're such a dickhead, Nick. So Sean Young, I know you'll know her from Ace Ventura. She's Finkel and Einhorn, by the way. But anyhow, you know, she's not really a famous actress anymore, but she was so good in that movie. Harrison Ford is great.
Rutger
Almost,
Hauer.
I can't remember his, Rutger Hauer.
Hauer, damn.
But you know,
yeah.
Rutger Hauer always scared me after I saw The Hitcher when I was a kid. So I couldn't watch movies with him without being scared, because that movie fucking freaked me out. But anyhow, yeah, Blade Runner's great. I'm gonna have to give it a 5 on the grayscale. So unfortunately, it's not what it deserves.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a 10. It's gonna be a 10. And that brings us to Omar's number 1 sci-fi movie of all time.
Oh man, I'm over here actually like Googling top sci-fi TV shows, because I hate my number 1 so much right now. And our listeners gonna be so mad at me. And but no, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go with what I stuck with originally. And my number 1 is Idiocracy.
Okay.
And before you say it's not sci-fi,
no, it's sci-fi.
He traveled into the future, and come to find out that basically the world is way dumber because dumb people procreate faster than smart people, and over time basically just the world deteriorates to real world 2021. So basically you end up with a president, well, I guess I should say 2020, because now our president's like, you know, it needs to be in a nursing home. But last year, that was basically pretty much like in the movie Idiocracy, it's a wrestler celebrity who becomes president. You know, we have like the apprentice celebrity that become president in real life, and you know, just a lot of dumb things that happen. They kill their crops because they're using Gatorade or fucking, what is it? Plants crave.
Yeah,
it's what plants crave. It's not Gatorade though. What was it called? What do they call it?
It's something like that Gatorade though.
Yeah, it's a rip off of that.
Yeah, but everything is at the Costco. You can get your law degree from Costco. I mean, there's so many things that are just so much fun. Just like they're trying to figure out what to do. They throw you in a pit of like death that you have to like try to survive. It's but the funny thing is that we're laughing about it, but we can all relate because of the craziness we just lived through in the last, 2020, even going into 2021. So it's one of those things, like, is it prophetic? I don't know. I hope not. But it's funny. It's great. First time I ever watched this movie, I like lolled all over the floor. I don't talk like that, but like, I mean, I laugh my ass off, like, and it's one of those things that every time I watch it, every time I see it, I don't have to sit down and watch the whole thing, but I sit down and catch little parts of it, and it's still like, I just sit there and wait for the jokes because they're coming. So yeah, give it a 5.
All right, Omar has given Idiocracy a 5. Kieth Giles, what do you think about Idiocracy?
I only recently watched this film because I had so many people recommending it, and I'd heard so many good things about it. Everything you just said, that it was sort of unintentionally kind of prophetic. And what's also fascinating about the film too, I don't know if you mentioned this, but Mike Judge directed it and wrote the screenplay for it. Mike Judge responsible for like King of the Hill and some of these other
Beavis and
great.
Butthead.
Yeah, Beavis
he's
and Butthead.
great.
And so for that reason, see, this is something else I also love. I love films that are true satire. You know what I mean? Satire is such a rare thing. And this film does a beautiful job of it because it's giving you the jokes, but there is a little bit of a bite. There's a little bit of a twisting of the knife. And it's like, it's funny because damn it, it's true, right? There's something about it that's like, So again, and so the fact this is a science fiction that is also a satire, which again, as I said, science fiction, good science fiction in my mind, is saying something back about us. So it's that great kind of looking in the mirror and laughing, but kind of going, damn it, he's right. I did like the film a lot. I don't think I don't know if it's worthy to be in the top 3 of something, but I mean, it is good. I guess I give it a 3.5.
All right. Elizabeth, what do you think about Idiocracy?
I know I've seen it. I don't remember it at all, so I'm not.
Wow.
I don't remember it. I know we watched it together, didn't we?
I mean, I own it. It's sitting right there.
Yeah, like I said, I know I've seen it.
right
I just
there.
can't remember it at all. So I'm useless tonight, you guys. So
All right. Elizabeth can't vote on Idiocracy. I liked Idiocracy. Like he said, I would never put it in the top 3 of anything, but I think it's a good movie, and certainly, like everyone's already mentioned, it's it's a satire of the times, and it does a good job of showing just what a crazy world we could live in or possibly did live in, in the past few years. So I will give Idiocracy a 3 on the grayscale, which is going to give it an 11.5.
Which is more than Blade Runner, which kills me. I can't believe that.
That's the nature of the game, man. I don't think Elizabeth is going to be very happy.
Yeah,
once we get off
if
this.
you've ever watched any of these episodes, Keith, that's what happens. Some of the really good movies sometimes end up getting like no score. Why isn't Elizabeth going to be very happy?
I think you're going to end up, there's going to be some sort of a call to the police office after this because she didn't get to vote on Idiocracy.
Oh no, I don't care.
yes, Jordan, because it was sponsored by Truly. That's exactly why you should put that thing up. Elizabeth can't vote because this segment was brought to you by our sponsors at Truly.
All the rest of the comments are a little bit racist.
Oh my god!
Okay,
so many comments.
That's fine. We're gonna keep moving on because I think it's my turn. I'm gonna give you my third. This one's sponsored to you by Bubbly. All right, so the 2009 film. What was his name? I didn't write this stuff down. I'm terrible. District 9.
That's my favorite one.
Oh.
District 9, directed by Peter. Can't remember his last name. He did The Lord of the Rings. It's set in South Africa.
Well, but no, it actually wasn't directed by Peter Jackson. He produced it, but it was Neil Blomkamp.
But
I know these things.
Yes. This movie messed with me. I don't. It's an alien film, but it's different. Because like first of all, the way it was filmed is very documentary. Before, I mean, this was right when The Office was becoming really big, so it was the documentary or mockumentary rather was just becoming a thing, and this was a full movie about it. Plus, set in South Africa, which South Africa doesn't get a whole lot of movie presence over here in the United States. And I have family from South Africa, like it's part of my bloodline. So like, I thought that was really cool. I was like, oh wait, look what my cousins can produce. Basically, I don't know why I thought that, but in my brain, that's what I did. But the film follows an anthropologist who goes into this place where, like a ghetto essentially, where all the aliens are kept, and tries to get to know the aliens in order to get them moved out and moved off of Earth. And it's just great. I loved it. I really, really loved it, and had me in tears by the end. I mean, seriously, you just cry at the very end of the movie. But
all right, what do you give District 9?
5.
Okay. Keith, have you seen District 9? Obviously you have.
Hell yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Great choice. Yeah, District 9. Damn. You know what's really great about Neil Blomkamp? So he's a South African. He's from South Africa, and this was his first feature film. And he actually did some student films where what he did, and it's exactly what happens in District 9. He went out in South Africa with a camera, documentary style, and he interviewed people in a certain area. And what he asked them to talk about was these refugees from this other country that were kind of, squatting in these different places. And that's what he was asking them about. But then he recorded in the film their reaction. So you think in the film, the way it's set up is that they're talking about these aliens, that their spaceship landed and they're kind of squatting over here. But these are real people. So these are honestly real human beings complaining about these refugees. But then he frames it so the question is about the aliens. And like you're saying, Elizabeth, it's like this really surreal, and yet you're talking about, like putting a mirror back in your face.
Yeah.
The way that they're talking about refugees, this is the way we would talk about aliens if they came and lived on our planet and took our resources, took our land, drank our water, ate our food, inconvenienced us in any way. It's really amazing. And it brings this whole alien kind of like meeting aliens, takes it down from the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Like, oh, isn't this beautiful and wonderful? And no, it brings it down to the level of reality of like,
it was very real.
Yeah, we would be assholes to them, just like we're assholes to refugees or anybody else. And that documentary style is totally what sets this film apart. And I see he does an amazing job of it, because it is this documentary style, this handheld kind of camera footage in the beginning. And then it seamlessly slips over into something where now the action's happening. And it's sort of like, you never stop to think, wait a second, how is anybody actually still running around filming this? It does. You just suspend that. Who cares? It's so good. Yeah, I love that film. I really do. I'd have to give it a 5. That is a great film.
Wow. Okay. Kieth Giles gives District 9 a 5. Omar, what do you think about District 9?
Man,
you haven't seen it because Elizabeth never saw yours, right?
I've never seen that film.
I have definitely seen it. It was one of those ones that I caught late night, probably smoking a bunch of weed, just looking for something to stream, and it sucked me in. And I didn't think to put it on my list. I have something close to that. I think that's on the list, but yeah, I would give it a 4.5.
All right. Omar gives District 9 a 4.5. Oh man, you guys are really giving this movie a lot of high scores. And I've seen District 9. I saw it when it came out in 2009. And it didn't really hit me that way. And maybe it's because I didn't know the background of all of it or really know the purpose of it. And so maybe I should watch it again. But whenever I think about a movie like this, I prefer something like a Cloverfield, or, even like I don't know. I just, it didn't really do anything for me at the time. And so I kind of am extremely shocked at the high scores this film is getting from you all. So
you really should watch this again.
Yeah,
man. You really
I'm going to have
should.
to.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to give it a rewatch. As it is, I would give it.
And you call yourself a cinephobe.
As it is, I would have to give the movie a 2. And I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, damn.
He's going to make sure I lose. Like,
That is not true.
He wants to win so bad.
I
So
don't.
bad.
In fact,
Listen.
I know I'm going to lose because of my next film, because I already know what you all think of it.
And I'm gonna give it a
So
1 right now. Go on.
I've already decided at advance it's going to get a 0. Whatever it is. I don't care what it is. Go for it.
So, okay. All right. So Elizabeth, I apologize, but District 9 is going to get a 16.5, which is actually great. It's going to end up on the top 5 list, I would imagine. So good job on that. And as far as my top number 1 of all time, I just have to preface this by saying I cannot believe I have not played this movie at all on any of our movies that molded me, because it is definitely in my top 10 of all time movies. And I've talked about it a lot. I know how Omar feels about it. I think I know how Elizabeth feels about it. And they don't feel too strongly about it like I do. But I couldn't not put this movie.
Aren't you like a
no.
language guy?
Not English. I couldn't not put this movie in my top 10
Yeah.
or my top 3 here. And
I'm glad
so
you
that
clarified
is
there.
and so that is 1985's Robert Zemeckis, Bob Gale, written and directed Back to the Future.
Oh my
It
God.
is.
Oh
I knew
my
you were gonna say
God.
that.
Let's just end the show now. Thanks
I
for
knew-
listening.
I knew you were going to
guys.
say that, and that's okay. That's all right. I don't need you to agree with me on that. And let me just try to, when we did the 80s teen movies, this came up, and I don't think of this movie as an 80s teen movie whatsoever, but I suppose the argument could be made that Marty McFly is a teenager. He's 17. He, is hanging out with Doc Brown, who has built a time machine, goes back in time to try to, fix, well, actually he accidentally goes back in time, but ends up getting his parents, back together. His mom falls in love with him instead of, so there's a lot of stuff that happens in this movie that
Incest is the best. Put your mom to the test.
it's not a perfect movie in that, there are some things that don't add up, like with the time travel. And as we've talked about in time travel movies before, I think it's really important that movies get time travel right. Otherwise, I just get completely taken out of it. But I think Back to the Future does a good enough job of it that it doesn't take you out of the movie. But a lot of people think that this movie is about Marty McFly. It's like his story arc, but it's not.
It's actually
this
about
movie
his
is-
father.
Exactly. This movie is 100% about George McFly and his growth as a person. He
I think
goes
I've
from-
memorized your spiel on this movie. Do you want me to keep finishing it for you?
Please. No, I mean, George McFly is this timid guy who's unsure. He's not, he's a nobody, and he doesn't think of himself as anybody, but through his son going back and helping him out, he gains confidence. He gets the girl. There's so many.
The longer you
classic
talk, the lower your
tropes.
score's going. I'm just letting you know right now.
There's so many classic tropes in this movie. This is a beautiful movie. It's really well
You're
shot.
dropping decibels right now.
Decibels. let me drop those. Decibels.
Yeah, that's better. That's much better. Yeah.
So anyway, of course, I would give Back to the Future a 5.
A 1.
A 5 on the grayscale. I fucking love this movie. I've probably seen this movie more than any other movie in my lifetime.
Are you
I've
wearing
been
your
obsessed with
T-shirt
this
that I
movie.
gave you? About
Actually, no, I'm not. I should have. Oh, that would have been smart.
More
I'm
decibels
sorry.
dropping right now.
All right, Kieth Giles, what do you think about Back to the Future?
Sorry, man.
I knew it. See,
I mean,
told you.
and I'm just going to be honest. I mean, it's enjoyable. It's entertaining. It's kind of a summer kind of a. But to me, this is like a popcorn bubblegum kind of movie. It's like, it's not. You know what I mean? Again, I am a cinephobe, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I'm a snob, and so like for me, there's films and then there's movies, and this would definitely be a movie. Movies are great. Movies are fun. I don't have to. I can take out my brain and just have a good time. It's not trying to tell me some deep, meaningful thing. It's not gonna. It's just eat the popcorn, watch the movie, yay at the end. It's gonna be a happy ending, whatever. So. I hate to rain on the parade, man, but
No, bring the rain. I'm gonna bring the thunder.
I expected people to not give this movie very high scores. It's fine.
I mean, if I'm thinking of it in the terms, here's the thing: if I'm thinking of it in terms of just movies, would I say if someone brought this up in a conversation, I would say, "Hey, great movie, yeah, it's a good movie, you should see it." But yeah, it didn't change my life, and I could take it or leave it. So I guess I give it like a 3.
Okay. I'll take it. All right, Omar, what do you think about Back to the Future? Although I already know.
I am so glad you played this.
Never seen that film
because I feel so justified in giving this motherfucker a 1, and hope that you never, ever play this movie again, because I'll find something lower than a 1. It'll just drop more decibels.
My goal is to never play the same movie twice. So. I probably won't play it again, but I'm glad
this
to
is
be
like
able to play it here.
This is like the 3rd time you played this one. I mean,
nope.
All right. Well, you know how. There's just so many Back to the Futures. I guess he's played like all of them.
I've played Back to the Future
now.
3 on Westerns. That's the only other Back to the Future I've played, and I would never play Back to the Future 2.
Well, you did this one before when we did the Going Back to the Future.
I didn't do this
The
one. Somebody
time
else
travel
did.
movies.
I just happened to talk about it.
Oh,
All right, well, I'm giving you the one as well.
I see the reach around you did there. No,
I'm giving it a 1 as well, which gives it a total of 10. Just so we're clear.
I know what it gets. Oh, well, that's definitely lower than it deserves. But I that's what I figured would happen. But
I mean,
you know, I'm going to stick true to myself.
It can't be higher than Blade Runner, so.
Blade Runner is a great film. So anyway, well, I mean, that's the way the game played, and I knew that was going to happen. So to me, it's not that big of a deal. I figured that would happen. I wasn't necessarily trying to play to win. I was trying to play the movies or the TV shows that really actually impacted me or meant something to me.
Yes,
so
Jordan,
exactly, Jordan. He played it under
Jordan.
Westerns. Yes, Back to the Future.
No, I played Back to the Future 3 under Westerns. That's not
Still,
Back to the Future. Completely
he
different.
said Back to the Future 3.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's what it says. I have numbers.
It's still
Callie,
not a
are you
Western.
ready?
Do you have it all?
I do.
Oh, perfect.
Oh,
That means I
wow.
don't have to do it.
It's the top 5, right?
Yeah.
Drum
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Ready?
Yep.
You're going to start at the bottom, right?
Number
Yes.
5, yes.
Okay,
Place
here we go.
number 5 with 14 points is Children of Men.
Good
Very
choice.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go, Keith.
At 4th place with 15 points is Endgame.
Boo.
Yay, in game. Even without
There-
Chris's voting. Screw you, Chris.
That's right.
3rd place with 15.5 is Lost.
Yeah. Woo.
Boo.
2nd place with 16.5 points is District 9. I made the list.
Good job. Good job, Elizabeth.
And our top sci-fi film with 17 points is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
Good
That's
job.
a good one. That's a good list. I would want,
Wait,
I would
two.
like,
Yeah, too.
yeah, you did. You had 2
Yeah.
on there.
I think
I
that
would totally binge that
tells
list.
you who might be our winner too.
Maybe. We'll
Ready?
see, Elizabeth. Do you have those?
I do.
So we also total up all the numbers
all the
to
others.
get
Total.
yes, to get an
Total
overall
numbers.
winner. Yes.
All right. So, in 4th place with 30.5 points is me.
Oh man.
Okay.
I tried to help.
I know, it's all right, babe. I got my movie 2nd on the list, so we're good. Chris came in 3rd with 39 points.
It's a tragedy.
There was a 9-point deficit between 2nd and 1st place.
Wow, Keith killing it.
With 41 points is Kieth Giles, which means
What?
Omar won with 50
What?
No
Points.
fucking way.
Yes.
Seriously? I had no
because-
clue I was killing it. Yay! I didn't.
I'm going to
Even-
double check that.
I don't even
math.
have my
Check my math.
check
Even
the
with
math.
Spaceballs?
I'm gonna
Even
cue
with
the
Spaceballs.
music.
Even with Spaceballs, because he had 13.5 points with Spaceballs, which was the 2nd highest points on his thing.
What'd you
So
say his
he had
points were?
50?
I was too.
No, he had 40.
40.
Double check that math.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
Oh
that's-
yeah, wait.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
you're
I didn't.
right.
I didn't think
I'm
I was
wrong.
gonna
It's
win.
40.
I knew I
Oh,
was
there
not
we
going to
go.
be able to believe.
So there's
So
only
my
a
math
one.
was wrong. So it was
I
a
demand-
1-point deficit.
Stop
We
the
fixed
steal.
it. We fixed it, Keith.
Stop the
Wait,
steal.
wait, no, no, no.
I demand a recount.
I'm recounting now.
It's all about
15.
those mail-in votes. We need more
The
time
mail-in
for
votes.
the mail-in votes need to be
More-
coming in. We need more time to count those.
Hey,
Worst list
listen
ever,
to
sorry,
this.
Daniel.
Listen to this.
It's
There's
15.
actually only 1 point difference between me, Keith, and Omar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Close.
Only 1 point. So I was at 39. Omar was at 40, and Keith, you won with 41 points.
41 points.
Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eternal
Wow.
Sunshine. Eternal Sunshine pushed me over the edge.
Yeah.
Good
what did
thing.
it.
Good thing Chris's list for number 1 was so weak. He
Yeah.
could have won.
I'm so glad. I'm so thankful.
Yeah. Well, I knew that was going to happen, so it's okay. It's all good. I knew Omar hated this movie, but it's all good. No worries.
All right. So
No
can we talk about our runners up?
Let's do it.
Yeah, go for it.
and we'll allow our listeners also. We'll read off some of their comments too. So if you guys throw
Yeah.
up some movies, And yeah,
So-
I was definitely
Daniel.
I think they call that reneged in some places. So yeah,
Yeah,
Watch
sorry
your
about
mouth,
that, guys.
Omar.
I got
That was my fault. My mouth was
blue
all
balls
wrong.
over here. I was over here getting ready to play them. All I do is win, and I didn't get to play it.
Well, I'm actually shocked. I was I was scared when Blade Runner didn't score very high, but
Do you have a congratulations speech or a word speech?
He has his list of runners.
I have
up.
my runners up list. I want to jump in.
Let's do that.
So I was going to pick, and I think if I had picked this, I would have lost. I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure almost none of you have seen this film. It's a film. It's a very obscure director. His name is Andrei Tarkovsky, who I only recently discovered, maybe about 5 years ago, discovered his films. The first time I saw one of his movies, I hated it. I literally fast forwarded the last 20 minutes because it was so slow and I was bored out of my mind. But I didn't get it. I didn't understand what he was doing.
Stranger?
No, it's called Stalker. Stalker. The director's Andrei Tarkovsky, and this film.
But the stranger could have been a stalker, though.
It's called Stalker, and it's a Russian film. It's subtitled. It's kind of an artsy kind of thing. But oh my gosh, damn it, it's so great. So the setup of the film is that it's based on a book, by the way. The book is also really good, called Roadside Picnic. But the film is about there's a place called the Zone in Russia, and then there's some kind of alien artifact, or they don't. In the film, doesn't really tell you. In the book, you know more about it. That there was basically alien craft landed and left behind some kind of like really kind of almost like junk. That's why the book is called Roadside Picnic, because it's about these aliens that kind of like land on Earth on their way somewhere else, stop for a bite to eat, leave a bunch of weird gadgets and things in their trash, and take off. And anyway, it creates all kinds of weird. It messes with physics and time and weird stuff, and it creates all these problems. So the government ropes off the area around this, and there's several of them all over the planet, but the film Stalker deals with the one in Russia. It's called the Zone. It's literally walled off with armed guards. No one is allowed in. But a stalker is someone who basically is like a coyote. Like, you pay him money and he will get you in. He'll basically smuggle you into the zone. And the reason why people are trying to get into the zone is that there is a room in a building somewhere in the zone, and the stalker can take you right to it. Where if you stand in that room,
I've been in that room. They check your diagnostics of your car. And
no, that's not what happens. That's not what happens. No, so the deal is, if you find this room, if you stand in that room, your fondest wish, your deepest wish, desire, will come to pass. And so the film is about this.
Might be the same thing then.
Oh no, it's not. It's so good. What's so wonderful is that it's a film. Ultimately, it's a film about faith, and so you have this whole journey. Each person. So the stalker is taking two different people. There's a writer and a professor, like a scientist, and they both have their reasons for wanting to go there. The stalker himself never enters the room. And it's kind of like his own personal code. He doesn't do that. He just takes you there. And it's very dangerous to get through there. And there's all these weird things, anomalies that will happen to you if you're not careful. So he gets them there. And it really is a fantastic study about faith and about doubt. And I think for anybody interested in the topic of faith and doubt or this kind of thing, it's genius. It's really, really good. It's beautifully filmed, beautifully shot. And it actually is a film that killed Tarkovsky, because he filmed it in a place. He went to a literal place that was like a ghost town. Because of all this like toxic chemicals and stuff that had been, and he filmed in this stuff, and he and his actors did, and it ended up killing him.
Wow.
It's kind of sad, but I love that.
He died for his art here.
He really did.
That's insane. Stalker.
It's called Stalker. I really recommend.
Have to watch that.
And I'm sure none of you have seen it, right?
I have not. No.
Yeah, I would have tanked if I had put that film in my list.
Yeah.
But I love it.
You should have. If you want to redo it, sub it out for one of your other.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
All right. What other films are you going to talk about here?
Okay, so can I just go quickly down the list? I'll go faster than that. So
yeah.
So some other ones. I got to mention a couple of like lesser known films that I just think are genius films. So there's one called Coherence. Damn, this movie is so cool. But I love it. So it's a science fiction film. I don't want to give it really. The less you know about this film, the better. But I will say, let me talk a little bit about how the film was made. it's an indie film, so not a big budget, no big stars. But the way the director filmed the movie was he gave the actors, it's probably like 12 actors. The setting is sort of like a dinner party. So all these different, they're all friends. They all kind of know each other. They come to someone's house in the evening for a dinner party. But the way the director directed the film was he gave each actor, they knew their character. They knew who they were as a character. And he would tell each of them, okay, in this scene, you need to mention these 3 things, but it's up to you. In other words, just pay attention to the flow of how things go. And all of a sudden you go, oh, that person just said that connects to something that I know I'm supposed to say. And then they throw it out. And then later on, somebody else does something and they go, oh, hey, wait a minute. That's kind of like the other little thing, the other prompt I'm supposed to have. So it has a spontaneous feel to it. It really feels like a genuine conversation with friends where in dialogue and conversation, someone will go, oh, hey, that reminds me. Or, oh, that is something else. And so it's beautifully.
Is this the one where the people are like watching themselves?
Kind of, yes. Yes.
Okay.
There's a weird thing that
I've seen
happens.
this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. I read about it, just the way he filmed it and how brave he was to basically trust the actors to just sort of, act and react to one another the way that they did in this kind of almost an improvisational way. Damn, it's so cool. And when you know that and you watch the film and you see how it unfolds, that movie is great. I love that movie. The other one I would mention, it's a great one. It's kind of hard to find it, but it's worth it. There's another one called Time Crimes. And I think if you want to talk about time travel movies, hands down, there's no better time travel movie than Time Crimes. It's a Spanish language film. Oh my gosh, you will have to watch it twice. I promise you, because when it ends, you're going to go, holy shit. And when you go back and watch it the second time, you're going to go, oh, I need to watch it again, because now there's this layers upon layers upon layers. And it's not confusing. It's not like Primer, which is another kind of an indie time travel movie, which I'll be honest, nobody understands that movie. That movie is freaking ridiculous. I
understand that movie.
Oh, no, you don't. You're lying.
You only know what to do.
You're just, the only way you understand that movie, if you went on Google and you went to one of those websites and somebody mapped it out for you, but without that, nobody understands that movie. But Time Crimes is genius. It's so smart and so good. I love that movie. And then I'll just mention one other one that I figured most people may not be aware of. Well, you might be. So Scarlett Johansson's in this film. It's called Under the Skin. Oh, God, I freaking love this movie.
That's an honorable mention of mine, too.
What I love about Under the Skin, it's another one of these things, too, where because I'm a writer, and when I see someone doing something on screen, and I'm thinking, how did they do that? And so the way this film is shot, it's almost completely without narrative. In other words, it's not dialogue driven. And as a viewer watching the film the first time I watched it, at every scene I'm constantly watching for cues to figure out who's that. Wait, what's happening? Why are they doing that? Oh wait, no. Oh, what's this? And the film doesn't care if you keep up or not. It's like we're just going. Here we go, and you got to keep up with it. And I love that. I love that about the movie, that it just tells the story. You just watch it unfold. And either you get it or you don't. Eventually you will, because at some point you're going to go, oh, that's what's happening. Damn, I love that movie.
And the majority of the townspeople there were actually townspeople there in Scotland.
Yes, they literally did. They had a hidden camera in the van, and Scarlett Johansson would pick these guys up on the side of the road and talk to them. And they had no idea that they were being filmed. So that, again, you get that spontaneity of some real person who doesn't really understand what's happening.
That movie is cool as fuck.
It really is, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a great movie. Love that movie.
It's so good. Yeah. Do you have any other ones you want to talk about?
Oh, hell yes. Boy, are you kidding? I just thought I would stop there. Okay, so
maybe just list them off. Maybe just
list them off. Yes.
I'll just list them off. So, because the other ones you might know. So I would say the movie Her, directed by Spike Jonze. Joaquin Phoenix, one of the greatest actors alive. I love that film. Gattaca, love Gattaca. That's another film that great science fiction that doesn't need special effects or costumes or sets. It's just the story idea of it is genius. So Gattaca is great. Pi, Darren Aronofsky's, I think it was his first film, almost like a student film.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, that movie's great. Again, that also is a film where it's just a concept. It's a mathematician trying to crack some kind of a code, like a biblical code, which is like the name of God. And the closer he gets to solving it, like he's going insane and he's having these migraines and it's like killing him, but he's determined to solve this numeric, problem. It's awesome. And then I'm going to give 2 from Terry Gilliam, Brazil, which I think is a better retelling of 1984 than 1984. I love Brazil.
Interesting.
And then 12 Monkeys is another one.
12 Monkeys is I actually seen that one.
Oh man. And honestly, 12 Monkeys is probably one of the best Brad Pitt performances ever. He plays this insane guy, and damn, he's good. He plays.
I
mean, you got
good.
Fight Club.
And the other great one with Brad Pitt is Snatch. He's great.
Snatch.
Snatch.
Snatch is
Give
great.
me a caravan. Give me a caravan for my mom. What? A caravan for my mom. What does he say? Is that English? Yeah, I love that. And then of course, last but not least, I'd have to say, The Matrix.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Actually, that's actually on one of my runner-up list.
Yeah, that movie.
I didn't think we'd have any of the same stuff on our list at all. Like as I was listening to you rattle off some of that stuff, but yeah, Matrix. You want go ahead and talk about the Matrix for a second if you want to.
Oh well, just the Matrix is. It's really sad they only made that one movie because that movie is just perfect. It's a great movie, and they should.
I wish they'd only made that one movie.
That film because it doesn't really. It's a film that needs no sequel.
No sequel.
Well, what the genius thing about that, I would just say about the Matrix is
I feel the same way about Tremors. Yeah.
Matrix is, again, it's such this genius level film where it's mixing science fiction and philosophy and religion and science and all these things, and it blends them together in such a beautiful way. There's a part of you that even thinks to yourself, you know what? Damn, this could be true. Like maybe I am in a pod somewhere, and that's why deja vu happens. Like, damn, it's so good, and it works on all those levels. It works on the philosophical level, the religious level, the science fiction level. It's so good. That movie, great film, and it does not need a sequel.
Yeah, I should have led with that one. That was great.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm just going to list off mine real quick too. Tremors is actually on my list. I keep talking about it, but it made it on there. Shout out to Martin Short. We got Interstellar's on my list. The fifth.
You mean Inner Space?
Inner Space. Yes, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Inner Space. That's the Martin Short.
Yes.
Film?
Yeah. Where
Dennis Quaid.
He gets shrunk down and
that is a good film.
Yeah,
you know what? Yeah. I should watch that again. I haven't seen that in a long time.
It's no Tremors, but it's pretty good. The Fifth Element is on my list.
On me.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Multipass.
Donnie Darko made the list. The 3 Rick Moranis movies is Spaceballs, Little Shop of Horrors, and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids are all on the list.
I guess Little Shop of Horrors is sci-fi.
Not Ghostbusters?
No Ghostbusters on the list.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, Idiocracy, I actually ended up going with that one. Looper was on the list. It was a fun movie. No. I thought so. And
making Joseph Gordon-Levitt look like Bruce Willis was so stupid.
That was a bad idea.
but like
Bruce Willis.
But it was a fun movie. I mean, it's on Doctor Strange is good as far as another Marvel movie. Power. I don't know if you've seen that. It's a Jamie Foxx movie. I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah, I have not.
It's very good. They end up taking a pill and it gives you your power. And he's always trying to get his daughter back. I guess she has like the power that's making the pills. It's pretty interesting on lots of levels. Fast Color. I watched that in preparation for this, thinking it might go on the list. It's kind of African American centric movie about family where the girls all have like this power in their family where they can control matter and kind of break it down to its molecules and put it back together. But the one daughter can do that with on a bigger scale with weather and stuff. And she was scared of it and didn't try to figure out the movie. It's pretty good. And Bliss, I've thought about putting it on the list. It's a new one on Amazon Prime. It shouldn't really make a list, but it's something we're talking about. It's a good movie. I'd recommend it. And then Captive State. I wanted to watch this. I can't remember if I've seen it before or not, but as I was prepping for this, it looked like a movie that I could really get into. John Goodman was in it. and it's the whole idea that again, it's an alien movie where the aliens are kind of like oppressing the people, and then some people are trying to rise up against it, but some of the people are benefiting from the aliens' oppression, and so it's kind of yeah. Anyway, it looks like a good movie, but I don't know if I've seen that one, so I didn't put it on the list. So that is my runners up.
Elizabeth, what about you? You got any honorable mentions?
Sure. I was debating whether to put Men in Black and Independence Day on there, but I decided not to. But they were both on there because Will Smith.
Independence Day and what else?
Men in Black.
Not Legend?
I mean,
damn, I love I Am Legend.
It's a good one. I own that one too. It's sitting over. It's sitting over there too.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's all happened from a disease, the zombie apocalypse based on a disease.
Okay, yeah. And then, of course, if anybody wants any recommendations of more animated movies that are sci-fi, I have a list as well. And honorable mention being Futurama, which is a TV show, which I didn't think about until we were halfway through this recording. I was like, damn it, I should have put this one on there. But I thought about it as we were recording, so.
Or American Dad. I wonder if that would make the list, because technically
American Dad
living with an alien.
Alien.
This one's for Ruben, if you're watching. I like pina colada. I used to do that with my friend Ruben. We weren't allowed to talk about alcohol because we worked in a church, but we would do this and we knew what we were talking about. So there you go, Ruben.
All right. Well, I have a few honorable mentions here. As some of them have been mentioned, like The Matrix. I was going to say that, but I played that on the Apocalypse one. Mad Max Fury Road is genius.
Yes.
I also played that on the Apocalypse one, along with Children of Men. For time travel, I played Primer, which I do understand, and it's a good movie. It's interesting. It's
lies.
There's some things about it that are absolutely awful, but it's because the production was so poor. And he funded it himself, the writer of that. But I actually really, it was a thought-provoking, mind-bending movie. I loved it. One thing that I cannot believe was not played on this list was Denis Villeneuve's Arrival, which I played on the time travel one. Oh, you have it right there. Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. I'm a linguist by trade, and so and a nerd as far as time travel and science goes, and so that movie is right up my alley. With the septopods, language and stuff, and how language helps them. Anyway, everything is interpreted through their language, and it's absolutely beautiful through their logograms and whatnot that they're that they have in that movie. Denis Villeneuve is, just like I said earlier, is an incredible director. Everything he's putting out right now is gold. If you haven't seen Enemy, if you haven't seen Prisoners, those are both Denis Villeneuve directed films, and they're beautiful and incredible. And I cannot wait for Dune. It's going to be so good.
Great.
Let's see. Contact, one of my favorite movies. Jodie Foster. So good. I played that on Space. Interstellar, I think, is a pretty good movie. The visuals are really good. Matthew McConaughey gets on my nerves, but it's okay. Inception, I love that movie. Most people think it's kind of hokey, but I think it's really, really good. I've played all these movies that I've just said. Some of the ones that I've not played that I kind of wanted to mention have already also been mentioned. Under the Skin, as Keith was talking about earlier, is so good. You have to watch it. ScarJo is incredible in that movie. Ex Machina, which I mentioned earlier when we were talking about Blade Runner, is a really cool movie. And it's also about, I don't want to give it away, because I feel like if I talk about how it's AI becomes self-aware, then I'm almost already giving it away, so I don't want to do that. But it's really good. The Signal, Lawrence Fishburne, it's pretty cool. It's interesting anyway. And then 10 Cloverfield Lane, I actually really enjoyed. John Goodman and another sci-fi movie there. Elements of sci-fi are pretty slim in it, but it is a sci-fi movie at the heart. So yeah. Anyway, those are just a few, of the honorable mentions there. And anyway, what a fucking cool list. We should probably run down that list one more time, since it's been an hour since we came to the conclusion.
Right. I think that the honorable mentions were probably more interesting than our actual list. But yeah,
It's possible. Yeah. So can you give us that top 5 list one more time, Liz?
Sure. So real quick, we've got, let's see, there it is. Fifth place is Children of Men.
So good.
Fourth place is Endgame. Third is Lost.
Yeah.
Second is District 9. And in first place was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Do I need to watch any of the other Avengers to watch Endgame?
you probably
Yes.
should. Yeah. You need to watch all of them. And you should probably Google. You should probably Google the
Yeah.
order and watch them. And in fact, our listeners can let you know
Don't
which
just watch it.
which episodes to watch first. But yeah, thanks guys for listening and for participating in the comments. Appreciate most of them, and I definitely appreciate you guys just being around. And I said I'd read some of the. Does anybody want to throw out some of listener picks real fast? I'll read them now. Here's your.
Any picks that are not we didn't mention?
I don't think so.
Nope, I think we're good.
Oh, you know what? I did
Lord
see
of the Rings.
Daniel,
Lord of the Rings was mentioned.
But that's
I did see-
fantasy.
I did see Daniel say Game of Thrones. He was like, you got to put Game of Thrones on there.
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
Yes, fantasy.
I agree. I think it's fantasy. Sorry, Daniel. Daniel's been pretty upset with our list. I think he said 6 of these are not even they're not even sci-fi films.
Daniel, we'll have you on for a fantasy run.
There you
Yeah,
go.
sure. There we go.
Yeah.
Can I just say in closing here? I feel like I really need to say this because
Yeah.
this is in praise to all of you. I want to thank all 3 of you. I want to thank you so much that none of you listed a Star Wars film. Star Wars is not science fiction. It is fantasy. It's not about anything. So it's fantasy, number 1. And number 2, I also want to thank you, all of you, that no one mentioned Minority Report, which is the all-time worst science fiction film ever made, and probably one of the worst films Steven Spielberg has ever made. And I'm so glad that none of you mentioned that film in your list. Thank you.
I'll have to find out later on why you don't like Minority Report.
Very welcome.
Entire episode of why that film sucks. It's so bad.
Is it because Tom Cruise is in it and Tom Cruise is pretty awful sometimes?
Tom Cruise is like the only thing good in that movie.
Yeah.
Everything else is bad.
Yeah, it's not great. Vanilla Sky, though, not so bad. Pretty good.
Abre los Ojos, which is the Spanish language original film that's based on, is better.
You did pretty good on that, Abre los Ojos. And by the way, that movie you were talking about earlier, the Time Crimes or whatever, Spanish, it's Crono Criminos, which is,
Yeah.
it's
Goodbye,
kind of the same thing.
everybody.
It is a good